Shalom, shalom. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ishba Aliyah, right? So the day of Simon, right? What is it, right? So, actually supposed to been did this video, but we're gonna do it right now through the spirit, right? So the day of Simon is actually today. It started last night at sundown, right? And it ends today at sundown. Again, we was being supposed to do this video, but we didn't. But hey, we finna do it right now through the spirit, right? So first we're gonna start off with a Bible scripture, of course. Right. Let's get that popping real fast. All right. Let's get that right quick. Now I'm not gonna go to this. I'm just putting this up, but this is actually. Let me get this. All right. Let me get the scripture. Let me get this. That's not what I'm looking for. It's, Con. Let's go to the book of Judges, chapter 5, and verse 11. Or this is what I want. It says, "And they that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel." Right. So the point of me bringing out this scripture, right, is we talking about our forefathers are rehearsing the righteous acts, right? As we should as well. We should rehearse the righteous acts, right? And when you think about it, when you was in the world, right? When you was in the world, you did those things. You did those things like keeping Christmas. You know what I'm saying? 4th of July, Cinco de Mayo, dang, Memorial Day. And we was all for it. You know what I'm saying? We was all for it. We kept every last one of those days they got out here. You know, we probably kept Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? How much so when it comes to this truth, right? You have all kind of days, right? You know, you got Passover, you got Pentecost, you got a new moon, you got blowing of the trumpets, so forth and so forth, right? So one of the beautiful days that we kept was a day called the Day of Simon, right? And we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into the history, right? Because you got to get the backdrop right. What's going on, right? So Simon, who is Simon, right? That's the question. Who is Simon? You know, so you kind of hear about different Simons in the Bible, right? So let's pull up. Let me get this, because Simon. All right, go ahead, go there. All right, so Simon, let's get into who Simon was. All right, we're gonna get into this right quick. All right, so this is, let me make sure it's big too, so y'all can see his thing. Okay, so we're gonna go into who Simon is. All right, so it says Simon Maccabeus, or Simon the Maccabee, was the third and last son of Mattathias to rule over Judea following the Maccabean revolt, right? So Simon, he was the third son of Mattathias, right? He was the third son of Mattathias during the Maccabean revolt. So you might say, well, when was the Maccabean revolt, right? All right, we got that too. It says, first we say Simon succeeded his brother Jonathan and ruled from 142 BC to 135 BC. So now you got kind of like a time period of the rulership of Simon Maccabees, right? So I'm gonna keep going, just reading about him a little bit, and then we're gonna go and I'm gonna go into the Maccabean revolt so you can understand what it's talking about, right? So it says, under Judah or Judas, From there. Religious freedom was gained after the persecutions of Antiochus the Epiphany, right? The fourth. So Antiochus the fourth, you know what I'm saying? This devil, just the devil, you know what I'm saying? He was a devil at the time. And he basically was persecuting the Jews, you know what I'm saying? And it was bad. You know what I'm saying? At that time, like matter of fact, I'm gonna get a scripture so you can see how bad it was. Right? I'll show you. You know, Maccabees. I'll show you. Right? All right, so we can go to Second Maccabees chapter 6, verse 6, right? It says, I'm gonna start at verse 5, right? It says our altar, right? The altar they had in Jerusalem, right? It says the altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. So they defiled our temple, right? This is what these heathens was doing. Right, this was doing the heathens. The Grecians had to take control over our area around that time. So it says the altar also was filled with profane things. So they profaned the altar, right? That's one thing which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath day. So you couldn't even keep the Sabbath day. You couldn't keep the Sabbath day holy, man. So these people was trying to stop us from keeping our laws. They was defiling the temple. I mean, it was bad, right? Nobody like right now. You want Jake in the world. They kind of like, well, is it really that bad? Not keeping a Sabbath day? Yes, it's bad, man. It's horrible. You had people when you read about the time these mighty stories in the book of First Maccabees, Second Maccabees. You had people that died. They died just to keep Sabbath day. Right? You got Jake right now. It's kind of like hassle for them to keep the Sabbath day. Oh, I can't work. I can't do this. I can't go to the store. Right? I can't do this. I can't do that because it's a Sabbath day. When you had mighty forefathers and mighty foremothers that died just to keep this day. Right? Now I'm not gonna get that account, but you can look into it. Right? It's in either First Maccabees or Second Maccabees where they actually did that. Right? But moving on, it says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts. Why we couldn't even keep the ancient feasts? So they wouldn't let you keep Passover. They wouldn't let you keep the Feast of Tabernacles. They wouldn't let you keep the blowing of the trumpets, right? Day of Atonement, none of that. You couldn't do none of these things. But it's love keeping the Feast of Tabernacles. It's a beautiful holiday, right? Passover, Pentecost. You couldn't do these things. Because these Grecians, man, they were so damn, still is wicked, but they were so wicked, right? They didn't want us to do our service for the Most High God. Because that's what we do it for. That's why we keep the Sabbath day for the Most High, right? Or to profess himself to at all to be a Jew. So you can't even call yourself a Jew, man. Right? That's what's going on. Right? And that's coming back full circle. It's gonna be a time where they're gonna try to stop us from keeping the house, keeping the laws, right? Calling ourselves Israelites, and that's gonna happen again, right? But I just want to kind of get that backdrop through the scriptures so y'all can see kind of what was going on, what they had going. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna go back to going into learning about Simon though. I want to just kind of get that real fast, right? But right here was like Judas and his party wished to achieve full political freedom, although he died before it was attained. When Jonathan became ruler, the Hell party was driven out, and the Maccabees were in firm control. Under Simon, the Jews became wholly independent of the Seleucid Syrian Empire. Right? So during that time when Simon came on scene, we was fully independent at that time. Right? We was fully independent at that time. Right? So you had a lot going on. So now we gotta kind of pause right here, right? Gotta pause right here, and we gotta go to this one right here, so y'all can understand the Maccabean revolt, right? So y'all understand what's going on. Blase, blase, blase. So the Maccabean revolt, right, was Jewish rebellion led by the Maccabees, right? So we talk about Mattathias, Judas, Jonathan, right? Simon. This what it's talking about when it says Maccabees. These was Maccabees, but right against the Seleucid Empire, against Hellenistic influence on Jewish life, because you had these heathen, right? They was trying to influence us to do wicked things. They wasn't trying to influence us to keep God's law. Just like right here in America, right? These heathen, and you know, you got Jake out here, I ain't gonna get into it, but you know, you got Jake. They infatuated with the so-called white man, right? Do damn Esau. Oh, what about him? What about salvation? These people always have had a distaste for us, a hatred towards us, but not to go into that. But anyways, these heathens, just like now, they not trying to influence us to keep the God's law. If anything, they're trying to influence the so-called black man to break God's law, to do things contrary to God's law, just as they was doing right then, right? And we through the Spirit, we're revolting, right, against this society through the Spirit, right? All that trying to live like the heathen, hey, we revolting against that, man. We rebelling against that through the Spirit, right? It says the main phase of the revolt lasted from 167 to 160 BC, right, and ended with the Seleucids in control of Judea. But conflict between the Maccabees, Hellenized Jews, and the Seleucids continued until 134 BC, with the Maccabees eventually attaining independence. Because see, man, you had the Seleucid Empire, and you also had Hellenistic Jews, man, Hellenized Jews. This is where you start to get the Gentiles. This is where the whole Gentile thing come from, right? This and also Northern Kingdom, because Northern Kingdom was they weren't even in they were just done for. That's we mainly read about when we talk about Gentiles, especially in the New Testament. It's really talking about the you know what I'm saying, a good bit of the Northern Kingdom, because they was off, right? But also you had other Israelites, right, that was Hellenized too. So therefore was living like Gentiles, right? Hellenistic Jews. So you had when you talk about Gentiles, like, and you gotta understand the context. When you talk about Gentiles, you either talk about Hellenized Jews or Israelites that don't know they was Israelites. As in the Northern Kingdom, they was so far gone after all the stuff, they wouldn't even call themselves Israelites at that point in time. But anyways, it's a whole other conversation. But yeah, that's where you get that from. When you gotta talk about Gentiles, you know, you had Hellenized Jews. They was wicked. They was trying to do the thing, just like now. Hellenized Israelites right now. You got Israelites trying to join fraternities, sororities, right? This is what they would do. You had these people now, you know, like they got the Greek, they talk about the Greek lifestyle, the Greek. You know what I'm saying? In college, when they get in college, oh, I want to go Greek. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's back then. You had Israelites that was joining the Grecians, doing the wild, freaky things and wicked things of the Grecians, right? So-called white people, right? Edomites, right? They was doing these things, man. Right? These people is wicked, right? But we're gonna keep going though. We're gonna keep going. Right. So it says, anyway, it says with the Maccabean, okay, I'm sorry, Seleucid king Antiochus Epiphanes, right? You see this. You see this. Look at this. That's a white man. That's a white man. It ain't, you can't say, well, you know, maybe it was another. No, it was a so-called white man. That's what Antiochus Epiphanes was, a so-called white man, right? It's right here. It says Antiochus Epiphanes, right, was a Greek Hellenistic king who ruled the Seleucid period, right, from 175 BC until his death in 164 BC. Right, he was son of Antiochus III. Right, the great, and these people just wicked, man, just wicked. But then we can get into who he is, to tell who he is, right? But we had to kind of get a little backdrop. We just understand this is so-called wicked white man, right? Edomite launched a massive campaign of repression against the Jewish religion. Right now, it's not a religion. This is not a religion. This is our heritage. But basically, and not Jewish, but the Jews, us, right? They came for our heritage. They came for our heritage. They're attacking our heritage, our way of life, us keeping the commandments. It's not a religion. But anyways, to the converts, it's a religion, but to us, it's not. Right? It's our culture. But anyways, the reason he did is not it's entirely not clear. Okay, blah blah blah. So basically, he launched his campaign and basically waged war with the Israelites. But I want to jump down here. It says Jerusalem was placed under direct Seleucid control in the Second Temple, and Jerusalem was made a site of a secreted pagan Jewish cult. Right? They made a pagan Jewish cult. Right? They was mixing paganism, right, in the Bible, right, which is pure madness. Right? It says this repression triggered exactly the revolt that Antiochus had feared, right, with a group of Jews. I ain't gonna say Jewish because we not Jewish, but a group of Jew fighters led by Judas Maccabee. So you had Judas Maccabee coming into. So they tell you what was going on. So this man, he start this campaign, right? He coming. They start targeting us, coming at our culture, our heritage, right? Then these men trying to mix paganism, right, with us, right? And that's where you get Christianity. Along the lines, eventually after Christ, now this is for Christ, but after Christ came on the scene, you got a thing what you got called Christianity, where they actually do that, where they mix paganism and the ways of the Jews, right? And that's where you have how you have the Christians, why they keeping Christmas and all these other wicked high holidays. The Jews, the Israelites, they never kept those days, right? So back then they had this pagan Jew cult, right? But after Christ come on the scene, you're gonna see Christianity come into play, and it's the same thing, a pagan Jew cult, where you have people keeping these wicked days that derive from paganism. Same thing, you know what I'm saying? If you understand what's going on, right? So boom, right? It said his family rebellion. Judas Maccabee and his family rebelling in 167 BC and seeking independence. The rebels as a whole would come to be known as the Maccabees, and their actions will be chronicled later in the books First Maccabees and Second Maccabees. And that's why another important reason why you need to have a part. First of all, it's part of the Bible already. It's part of the Bible, but you got history inside this thing, man. You got history inside the Apocrypha, right? Beautiful. It's called the intertestamental history, right? So intertestamental history is basically the things that went down after Malachi and in between before Yahweh Shai come on scene. Because without the Apocrypha, it's kind of like what happened. Because you got the Old Testament, then you just jump into boom, Christ on the scene. But when you actually have the Apocrypha, then you get that middle section of the other stuff that went down, right? And I got this book here, this Bible here, right? It got some stuff in there, right? some dates and things like that, and some maps. And I'm gonna see if I can pull it up on this on the computer so y'all can see yourself, you know. But let's see what we can find. Right. So we talking about the Maccabean Revolt, right? So that's what happened, right? So let's see if we can get some maps. See if we get some maps, right? Let's see if we get some maps. Cause I got some, like I said, I got some maps. Oh no, that's not what I want. All right. All right, so let's see if we can get some maps. We got some maps. Let's see if we can bring them into which one I want. Which one I want. Which one I want. I'll go here. Right. Let's see. It's not doing what I wanted. Okay. All right. So let's look here. View image. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. That's not. I'm trying to make it big. Trying to make it big. How do you make it big? Oh, here we go. Well, I'm trying to make this map kind of big. Okay, there we go. Okay. So here's a little map, right? A map of what was going on. So this is it says Simon 45 132 BC. So right here was has this one, right? These are the different like battles and stuff like that, right? So you got one right here, you got one right there, right? So this was going on, right? This way it was going, this was where it was going down at, right? And you had a couple other battles, but they ain't got the ones that had like the one here in this Bible, right? It's more detailed. It's more detailed. With like the different stuff on there. So it's pure madness. Pure madness. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Bear with me. Cause they got well, we could try to look at this. We could look at this right quick. Let me see. You know what? I ain't even gonna worry about it. Cause it's not really well I'll show y'all this one right here. This right here shows y'all the Hasmonean kingdom, right? After they took the independence back. Right. So this was the Hasmonean kingdom. This is what they had in rulership right there. Right. Hasmonean. So that's a little history, right? On what's going on, and y'all kind of got some maps. Y'all kind of get a visual of where these things took place. That's why I want to bring on the map, so you kind of get a visual like where these things took place. You know what I'm saying? What area and blah and so forth, so forth. So that's what things was going down at, right? That's where the battles and all that kind of stuff was going down, right? Um, so boom. So now we got the backdrop, right? We got the backdrop. We understand, okay, this was Simon. We understand, okay, he was during the Maccabean revolt. We understand who they was revolting against, the Seleucid Empire, right? That's when you have Antiochus Epiphanes, that wicked devil, right? And all these things, right? So now we got the backdrop on the day of Simon, right? Not day of Simon, but we got a backdrop on the history of what was going on during that time. Now we're gonna get the Bible scriptures, right? Cause it's like I could jump straight to it, you know what I'm saying, and get the Bible scriptures, but it's good to know your history as well. A lot of our people, they don't know nothing about they don't know about the Maccabean revolt. They don't know about how our forefathers fought against the system or how they fought against these people. That's what they did. They fought against the system. They fought against the system that didn't want them to keep the commandments, right? Yeah, a lot of our people don't know about that, so we gotta get into that, man. Right. And if you don't want to, and if you don't want to get into the history, then hey, that's on you. But hey, here at New Wine Congregation, we're gonna get into it, man. We're not just gonna be like, oh yeah, the day of Simon, bro. Yeah, the scripture said it. We're gonna kind of get into it. Who was Simon, right? What time period was that? Right, all that thing, man. You want to be just, I don't know, how Jake be nowadays, man. They don't want to look into nothing. Right. Right. So let's read this. We're gonna go into this. Right, now I ain't gonna read this whole account, but where I'm at is I'm in First Maccabees chapter 13. We about to get we get into right what to the day of Simon, but I want to read a little about a little battle that was going on. And remember the map that I had pulled up, right? So it was kind of like it kind of showed it a little bit, but here we go. We're on First Maccabees 13 and 43. It says, in those days, Simon camped against Gaza. Right? Y'all know what Gaza had, right? But we just gonna bring it up, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, right, let me get this right quick. Yo, I'm gonna pull this up real fast just a bit. So you got Gaza over here, right? In this area, somewhere in this area right here. You got Gaza, somewhere in this region. I think Gaza over here. Right? So Simon, he kind of was getting into it. Right? So let's go back. I just want to show y'all that real fast. Boom. All right, back to it. So it says, in those days, Simon camped against Gaza and besieged it round about. He made also an engine of war and set it by the city and battered a certain tower and took it. And they that were in the engine leaped into the city, whereupon there was a great uproar in the city. And this bro, this make you think, bro, this is how I think, bro. They take everything from the Bible. You know what this reminds me of when it says he made an engine, right, and set it by the city, right? And it says, and they that were in the engine leaped into the city, right? So they said these people was inside the engine. It made me think about the story of Troy. In the story of Troy, you had they had a Trojan horse, right? Where a Trojan horse went inside the city, right? And then the people that was inside the horse, they came outside the horse and started killing this was the Grecians. They came out and started killing the Trojans. Well, it just reminded me of that. But anyways, keep on. Says insomuch as the people of the city rent their clothes and climbed upon the walls with their wives and children, cried with a loud voice, beseeching Simon to grant them peace. Now these people, you got to remember, you had Hellenistic Jews, people that wanted to serve the heathen, wanted to live like the heathen, wanted to do everything the heathen was down with. All the wickedness and vile things, eating pork, whatever, being a alphabet boy, all that stuff, right? Keeping the pagan days, all that wicked stuff, serving these pagan gods, all that stuff, right? And they said, deal not with us according to our wickedness. Right? It was wicked, but according to thy mercy. So Simon was appeased toward them and fought no more against them, but put them out of the city and cleansed the houses wherein the idols were, and so entered into it with songs and thanksgiving. Right? They were serving other idols. Right? It says, yea, he put all uncleanness out of it and placed such men there would keep the law, right, and made it stronger. So he put people in position that was trying to keep the law, right? The laws, our laws, right? And it says, and made it stronger than it was before, and built there a dwelling place for himself. They also of the tower in Jerusalem were kept so straight that they could neither come forth, no go into the country, nor buy nor sell. Wherefore they were in great distress for want of victuals, and a great number of them perished through famine. So there was a tower in Jerusalem where it was a bunch of Hellenistic people that was occupying the tower, right? And so Simon put them in straits. You know what I'm saying? Put them in a position where they couldn't buy nothing. They couldn't go to the store. They couldn't go get no water, whatever. So it ended up happening when you had a great number of them perishing though. Right? Then cried they to Simon, beseeching him to be at one with them, which he granted them. And when he had put them out from thence, he cleansed the tower from pollutions. Because you got these people, they were still trying to live wicked. So he had to kind of, all right, y'all still want to do this until they humble themselves, right? We gotta be humbling ourselves in these times, right? You know what I'm saying? You got brothers right here, right now, through the spirit. They're kind of through the spirit, they're doing what Simon was doing. Right? We're going to war with these demons. We're going to war and telling our people, hey, you gotta stop being an alphabet boy. You gotta stop trying to want to be damn a thug or a gangster. Hey, since you want to stop put some clothes on, be modest, you know what I'm saying? Stop being a whore or whatever. Right? We coming against the things of this Hellenistic land that we in. Because this is a Hellenized land. This is a Hellenistic land. Right? And a lot of Israelites now, right, they're conformed to the ways of this land. Right? The wickedness of this land. And they don't want to get out of it. Right? And we kind of rebuking our people. So like, you need to come out of it, man. Right? We speaking out against these things. So we doing a revolt through the spirit, right? Kind of like how Simon was, right, through the spirit. We not going to fight nobody, no, but we fight through the spirit though. Right? We fight through the spirit, right? Anyways, it says then cry we gonna go to verse 51 and enter into the 3/20th day of the second month. So this is the second month for us, right? This is our second month, and this is the 23rd day of our second month. So this is the day of Simon. Again, we were supposed to come out with this before Salakia for the late class. But it's still going on till the day at sundown, so you still have time to, probably get a good little meal in, rejoice, at least understand what's going on and why we're keeping it. And again, Salaki about that. But and it says, and enter into the 3/20th day of the second month in the 171st year, right, with thanksgiving, right, and branches and palm trees with harps and cymbals and with boughs and hymns and songs, because there was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel. So our people, right, on this day, amen, it was happy, man. It was giving praise to the Lord. They was being thankful. They was having harps, music, cymbals. They was having a good time. Songs, they was singing. They was having a good time. So in the day of Simon, we not here. We're not sitting here kind of mourning. We ain't got our sackcloth on, ashes on our head, and kind of just sitting there fasting. You know what I'm saying? No, and we in a spirit of mirth, right? We kind of up in this thing, right? We up in this thing, being joyous, being happy, right? He ordained also that day should be kept every year with gladness. So it says he ordained that. So hey man, right, we keeping it every year with gladness. Lord willing, through the spirit, Lord willing. You know what I'm saying? We with gladness. Moreover, the hill of the temple. All right, that's most of that. But so there, this is the account of the day of Simon. If you ever wonder where can I find that about in the Bible, day of Simon, First Maccabees chapter 13. It goes into the day of Simon. Right? How did they keep it? They kept it with gladness. It was happy. You know what I'm saying? They was singing songs, being thankful, you know what I'm saying, giving thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying. So they kept it yearly, and so we keep it yearly through the Spirit. Well, we keep it yearly. So that's the backdrop, right? We went into the history, right, of the time period that it was when it happened, what was going on, who was the enemy, you know what I'm saying? We went into who Simon is, to understand who he is and things like that. Went into some maps, right? And then we got the Bible scripture of what happened, right? So that's the day of Simon, right? Lord willing, that was edifying, right? And with that, man, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? This brother Aliyah, and say shalom.